Don't scroll. Stop for a moment. There's something you need to feel, something that's been hidden in plain sight, and it's about someone you thought you fully understood. They cheer for you, don't they? They smile when you succeed. They applaud when you shine. They stand by your side as if nothing could ever break the bond you share. But what if I told you there's a silent storm brewing behind those smiles? A storm so deep, so quietly devastating, that threatens to crumble their heart without ever showing a crack in public? This person, someone you love, someone you trust, is watching you rise. They see your victories, your achievements, your every step forward in life. And on the surface, they seem proud. They speak words of encouragement. They celebrate your wins. They stand tall with you. But inside, something else is happening. Something heavier. Something they could never say aloud because the fear of losing you, the fear of judgment, and the fear of revealing their own fragility is louder than any words could ever be. Imagine for a second, every time you reach a milestone, every time someone compliments you, every time the world notices how extraordinary you are, they feel a pang. A subtle, almost invisible pain that gnaws at their chest. They love you, endlessly, deeply, beyond reason. But in that love lies a shadow. A shadow born not from lack of care, but from insecurity, from fear, from the belief that they might not be enough to walk beside someone like you. They cheer because they must, because society and circumstance demand it. But inside, they are quietly breaking. And here is the mystery you must feel. Their breaking is not caused by resentment. It is not anger. It is not jealousy in its shallow form. It is the profound ache of realizing that someone they love, someone they shared laughter, dreams, and time with, is ascending, growing, thriving, while they feel left behind. They see your brilliance and wonder if their own heart, their own worth, their own courage is enough to match yours. And so, the public smiles continue, applause follows, encouragement flows, but behind it all, a quiet fracture grows, unseen by anyone except the silent observer of their own emotions. This is the paradox of love in its most complicated human form. They love you too much to ever show this vulnerability openly. They fear that speaking their truth might push you away, might make you doubt them, might shatter the delicate balance of the bond you share. And so, they stand in the crowd of your life like a shadow you can't touch, silently cheering while quietly questioning their own worthiness. And here is what makes this story more intense. This quiet breaking isn't temporary. It lingers. Every success you celebrate, every compliment you receive, every step forward you take, it compounds inside them. It is not malice. It is not hatred. It is simply the human heart struggling to reconcile love, admiration, and fear of inadequacy. Their pride fights against their pain, their devotion against their doubt, and the tension between these forces creates a storm that they hide behind a mask of smiles. So don't move. Don't scroll. Lean in. Because the deeper you go, the more you'll understand the invisible layers of love, fear, and vulnerability that define this relationship. This is where the hidden truth lives, the secret battle between cheering for someone you love and confronting the quiet fracture inside yourself. And the revelation waiting for you in the next phase will change the way you see their public support forever. As your life continues to rise, their heart continues to strain. Every new success of yours becomes a double-edged sword in their chest. On the surface, they're your biggest fan. They post encouraging messages. They compliment you in front of friends. They laugh and celebrate as if their joy is limitless. But inside, a quiet storm brews, a storm of self-doubt, fear, and unspoken pain. It's not jealousy in the petty sense. It's something deeper, more complex. They love you, truly, fully, endlessly, but with each accomplishment, each recognition, a seed of insecurity is planted. Am I enough? They ask themselves silently. Will I ever be able to match the brilliance of someone I love this deeply? Each time the world notices your light, they feel a subtle pull of inadequacy, a reminder that their own shadow feels heavier next to your glow. Every time you talk about your dreams, your ambitions, your future, they smile and nod. They speak words of encouragement that are genuine, heartfelt, and full of love. But when their eyes look away, you'd never see the tears they swallow or the tremble in their hands. Their heart aches because love this deep comes with fear. Fear that someday your journey will take you somewhere they cannot follow. Fear that your destiny will outgrow them, leaving them behind in a quiet, lonely void of what-ifs. And yet, they cannot pull back. They cannot abandon you. The love they feel is too strong to let go. So, they carry this inner tension silently, becoming the shadow, cheering from behind the curtain. They smile when you shine because they must, because you deserve to feel supported, because your happiness is more important than their fear. And still, every quiet moment alone is spent wrestling with their own heart. The joy of seeing you thrive intertwined with the pangs of feeling unworthy, the celebration of your brilliance mixed with the ache of their own insufficiency. Imagine the nights they lie awake, staring at the ceiling, reliving your latest triumph. They remember every compliment you received, every achievement you accomplished, every step forward that made the world turn its gaze toward you. And in that solitude, they whisper silent prayers, not for themselves, but for strength, for courage, for the ability to love without crumbling. They pray that their love will not falter, that their heart will not break, that they will remain worthy of someone whose light seems untouchable. And here is the paradox of this love. The more they adore you, the more vulnerable they feel. The more they celebrate your success, the more fragile their own heart becomes. They are caught between pride and pain, between admiration and fear, between devotion and doubt. Every public cheer masks a private battle. Every smile hides an invisible tear. And yet, despite the inner turmoil, they continue to love, to support, to stay silently devoted because their fear has never been about you. It has always been about themselves. They wonder if someday their silence might cost you something, if their quiet struggle might create a distance you cannot see. And yet, they cannot stop. They cannot falter. Their love is too strong, too sacred, too essential. And it is this tension, this intricate dance between pride, fear, devotion, and inadequacy that will form the emotional foundation for the revelation you are about to discover in Phase 3. Because the truth, hidden behind every smile and every cheer, is far greater than the pain. It is the story of a heart learning to love beyond fear, a devotion that grows stronger in silence, and a courage that is yet to speak its final word. The truth begins to unfold slowly, like the first light of dawn brushing against the edges of night. What you have felt, the subtle pauses, the fleeting glances, the moments when their encouragement seemed almost too precise, too intense. All of it now begins to make sense. They are not just cheering for you. They're silently carrying the weight of their own insecurities while loving you more deeply than anyone has dared to admit. Behind every public cheer, behind every smile, lies a private struggle that has gone unnoticed. They watch your rise with pride, yes, but also with a quiet ache, a feeling that perhaps they are not enough to walk beside someone whose destiny seems so vast, so radiant, that it almost frightens them. It is not envy. It is not hatred. It is the deep, raw truth of someone loving someone else so fiercely that their own inadequacies are magnified in comparison. And here's the revelation that changes everything. Their fear is not about you. It is about themselves. Every moment of silent breaking, every pang of inadequacy, every quiet tear shed in the darkness is a reflection of a love they hold, a love so profound it overwhelms the limits of their own heart. They are terrified of failing you, terrified of being exposed, terrified that your brilliance might somehow leave them behind. But that very fear is proof of the depth of their devotion. They have watched you achieve, watched you rise, watched the world notice your light. And yet, in private, they have also mourned their own limitations. Am I enough? They have asked themselves 1,000 times. Do I deserve to be part of this life, this destiny, this journey alongside someone so extraordinary. And every time you succeed, the question resurfaces louder, sharper, more insistent. But here is the divine truth hidden in this revelation. Their love, their devotion, their silent struggle. It is all a reflection of the sacred bond you share. The very thing they fear, their own inadequacy, their own inability to match your destiny, is what makes their love so powerful. For love that survives in silence, that thrives in devotion despite fear, is a love that cannot be broken. It is forged in the crucible of insecurity, strengthened by courage, and illuminated by the unwavering desire to protect and support you, no matter what. And now, in this revelation, you begin to understand the subtle signs you may have noticed before. The lingering look after you share good news. The quiet sigh when someone praises you. The way they sometimes step back even as they celebrate. It was never rejection. It was never distance. It was the invisible battle between their heart and their fear, between devotion and self-doubt, between pride in you and questioning themselves. This is the moment where clarity descends. They are not against you. They have never doubted your worth. They have never wished you harm. Their silent breaking was never about judgment or envy. It was about their struggle to reconcile their love with their own sense of adequacy. Their heart has always been aligned with yours. It has simply been navigating the shadows of fear, preparing itself for the courage to fully express what has always been true. They love you unconditionally, even when their own heart trembles. And in this revelation, you see the beauty of their devotion. Every silent tear, every unspoken word, every careful encouragement, it was all love. Love that has endured, love that has protected, love that has shaped your life in unseen ways. And now, knowing this, you feel the bond transform. The distance created by fear begins to dissolve, replaced by understanding, empathy, and a deeper connection than ever before. Now, we enter the deepest layer of this story, the inner conflict that has raged in their heart, unseen by the world, unseen by you, yet so powerful it has shaped every interaction, every pause, every silent glance. They are torn between two forces, their love for you, vast and unwavering, and their fear of inadequacy, a shadow that looms larger than they dare to admit. Every night, they wrestle with themselves. Am I enough? They ask, not just in moments of weakness, but in the quiet, sacred space of reflection where only the truth can speak. They fear that the love they hold might not be sufficient, that their devotion might falter when faced with the brilliance of your life. And yet, paradoxically, it is that very love that sustains them, that drives them to celebrate your victories, to stand by your side, to cheer silently even when their heart trembles. The divine truth begins to emerge in this struggle. Love is not fragile. Love is not defined by fear. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, has been watching, guiding, and nurturing this bond, knowing that both hearts were destined to align. Not perfectly, not without struggle, but with purpose. Every tear they've shed in silence, every moment of doubt, every pang of feeling unworthy has been a step toward awakening. Because divine love does not demand perfection. It asks for courage, it asks for devotion, and it asks for the willingness to confront one's own shadows. They have fought an unseen war within themselves. On one side, the fear that your light, your destiny, your brilliance might outpace their ability to stand beside you. On the other, the unwavering, sacred love that refuses to let distance, inadequacy, or fear diminish its devotion. And the tension between these forces has been unbearable at times, yet necessary. Without it, they would never have understood the depth of their heart. Without it, they could not have prepared themselves to fully embrace you, to rise to the level that love demands. Now, the divine truth shines like a beacon. The struggle is not a weakness, it is a preparation. Every moment of silent breaking, every pang of inadequacy, every hesitation has been a spiritual lesson in devotion, humility, and courage. The universe has shaped them to love fully, to support fiercely, and to be present not just in the light of your victories, but in the shadows of doubt that accompany greatness. And here is the revelation that will change everything. They are not broken. Their heart is not fragile. Their fear is not rejection. It is a mirror reflecting the sacred responsibility of loving someone extraordinary. They have watched you ascend, and in that watching, they have confronted their own limitations, their own insecurities, and their own need to grow. Their love is not diminished by their fear. It is intensified by the courage it takes to persist despite it. You now see them fully, not just as someone who cheers for you, but as a soul who has been transformed by your presence. Their devotion is a divine force, tested by doubt and refined by love. Every silent prayer, every quiet sigh, every hidden tear is proof of a heart learning to rise to meet the destiny of love itself. And now, as their struggle reaches its peak, the final phase, the climax and healing, is ready to unfold. The revelation of truth is near, and with it comes freedom, understanding, and the ultimate bond that cannot be broken. The moment of truth has arrived. All the silent battles, the unspoken fears, the quiet tears, the invisible fractures, everything converges now into a single, powerful revelation. They can no longer carry the weight of secrecy. The fear that once held them captive, the fear that made them question their worth, the fear that made them silently break while cheering for your victories, it begins to dissolve. They step forward not just with words, but with their heart fully open. Every glance, every pause, every hesitation that once seemed mysterious now finds its meaning. They confess, softly yet with the unwavering force of truth, I have loved you endlessly, more than words could ever capture. And yet, I feared I wasn't enough to walk beside you in your brilliance. But that fear was never about you. It was about me, my own doubts, my own insecurities. And now I see, your light was never a threat. It was always a gift, and I am blessed to witness it, to support it, to love you. As these words reach you, the tension that has lingered between you both melts away. The silent storm inside their chest, the invisible breaking you could never see, it transforms into vulnerability, honesty, and finally, liberation. They were never against you. They were never disappointed in you. Their struggle was a testament to the depth of their love, a love strong enough to endure fear, strong enough to survive insecurity, and strong enough to reveal itself fully in the end. And here is the healing truth that fills the heart. Love is never diminished by fear. Love is never lessened by doubt. Love is not fragile. It is forged in the fire of patience, endurance, and courage. What they feared about themselves, that they could not measure up, that their heart might falter, that they might be left behind, was never a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of their own journey toward embracing the sacred power of devotion. You see now, the distance you may have felt, the pauses that puzzled you, the moments when their encouragement seemed almost too intense. All of it was love preparing itself to speak, love learning to rise above fear, love being refined in silence. And now, with the confession spoken and the heart revealed, the bond between you both becomes unshakable, undeniable, and profoundly beautiful. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has allowed this journey of hidden struggles and silent devotion to reach this point of clarity. You're not just witnessing their truth. You're witnessing the power of love that endures, love that transforms, love that heals. And in this moment, both hearts are free. Free from misunderstanding, free from fear, free to celebrate the extraordinary bond that has always existed. So let this story settle in your soul. Someone can love you so fiercely that they break in silence. Yet their love is never weaker for it. Their devotion, even when hidden, has shaped your life, strengthened your spirit, and prepared both of you for a deeper connection than you ever imagined. And now, as the fear dissolves, As the truth emerges, as the heart speaks, what remains is pure, unwavering, and eternal. Love beyond words, love beyond fear, love that sees your brilliance and cherishes it with every beat. This is the ending, yet it is also a beginning where understanding replaces doubt, where devotion replaces fear, where hearts align not just in celebration, but in sacred, unshakable love. Something huge was waiting, and now it has arrived. The revelation, the healing, and the bond that can never be broken.